Dota 2 fans, and welcome to the Dota 2 Canada Cup playoffs. This is your third place match. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this is Complexity Gaming versus Shadows of the Past. Two teams with some disappointing runs to get finally eliminated towards this third place match. Navi US eliminating Shadows of the Past, as well as SNA eliminating Complexity. Shadows of the Past had a really good run, coming in kind of as the dogs in this playoff series here and beating out Thundercats, which looked like the strongest, what you might want to call T1.5 or T2 American team, at least even North American team for that, taking out Navi US in even one of the group stage matches. But nonetheless, they are here and playing for some money in the third place matchup. So we'll see what they look to do with the draft. Of course, we've got Moon Meander, the resident Canadian of Complexity Gaming here, so we'll see what he ends up doing in the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and hopefully we can provide some good Dota for you guys today. In the Dota world, get you a little excited. World Cybersports Arena WCA is starting tonight, and the lineup is absolutely stacked. You got the likes of Navi, Titan, Alliance, C9, etc., Vici, Newbie, so EG as well. I'm not even sure if C9's there, but definitely the latter few that I mentioned, really stacked group. Mushi playing, of course, for Titan in Orange 2.0, the same Orange that finished third 2 years ago at the International. So really excited to see them play. That starts in about 3 hours, guys. But before then, we've got your Dota fix for you here on the Dota 2 Canada Cup. First two bans from Complexity Gaming are the Viper and the Razor. Two really strong frontliners, two good mech carriers banned out for them, two heavy team fight presences. So they're not going to want to see that. The Brew is banned out by Shadows of the Past, and they will ban out Net Diamond, the Skywrath Mage. So you're going to take him out of the pool. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I hope you joined me earlier today for some of our Star Ladder matches. We had a couple pretty good matches. Unfortunately, HR versus, can't quite remember right now, Hellraiser's game versus MYM. So the new Fnatic, they actually lost. Or that game ended up being called early by the new Fnatic. Has Come With Me had a disconnect, so unfortunately we didn't get to see that one develop. I did cast the second game though, with Virtus Pro versus Compass Gaming. Really epic ending there. Check out the VOD at twitch.tv/mrpdota/profile/past_broadcast, or just hit up my Twitch and you can find it through the links there. So first two pickups here for Shadows of the Past are going to be Centaur Warrunner, Vengeful Spirit. Very nice 1-2 there. Venge pretty damn strong in this patch with the buff to her Nether Swap there. So she's got a little bit of extra range earlier on. Death Prophet Enigma going to be picked up from Complexity Gaming. So they can certainly ball with this lineup, and they can also certainly farm with their Death Prophet, helping them out in the mid game to keep relevant while their other heroes gain up some items as well as experience. So ban out from the Spectre from Shadows of the Past, a very strong hero thus far in 6.82. Not quite as strong in 6.82b because of the nerfs to the comeback mechanic, but still pretty damn good late game hero. As everyone knows, we always like to theorycraft who would be the ultimate late gamer between Void, Spectre, etc. Shadow Shaman as well as Mirana going to be banned out by Complexity Gaming here. So two solid supports there, two strong supports. Shadow Shaman, of course, nerfed in terms of his mana costs recently, so not as strong as he once was. Of course, he's not the strongest laner, but he does offer a lot of disable, does help with the push, which Shadows of the Past seems to be lacking at this point. They do have some minus armor and some wave clear with the magic damage kit from Centaur Warrunner, as well as the Fade Bolt from Rubik, but not too much push at this point. And we haven't really seen that push is extremely significant in this patch, only because of the fixes to the T1 glyphs, which allow it to refresh after T1 goes down. So that stops teams from mounting a consistent push in one go there. So push definitely still relevant, but if you have pick-off potential and you're able to take objectives off of that, sometimes that's viewed as often stronger. So the Witch Doctor pickup, going to come out here from Complexity Gaming, as well as the Tide ban prior to that from Shadows of the Past. So they don't want to see a Ravage, Exorcism, Black Hole combo together, but They add a really nice team fight ult in the Death Ward from the Witch Doctor does Complexity Gaming. So we'll see if Z Freak or Riser looks to pick that up. Those are the two supports, presumably, unless Limp wants to run this off-lane Enigma here, which is pretty uncommon. Swindle definitely going to be playing on that Death Prophet mid. They still need a Moon hero as well as a Limp hero if those are the two supports. And so one thing this does for Complexity Gaming, although they do have the pick here, they're going to have to pick Return into a Dusa from Shadows of the Past. So this is the third game, I believe, today where I'm seeing in competitive Dota. I've seen a Dusa. Compass Gaming, of course, winning with it with that excellent play at the end. Not going to spoil it for you, but check out the VOD. Compass Gaming beat out Virtus Pro today with a Dusa, and I believe Virtus Pro Polar picked up the Dusa in the game following that. I actually had a doctor's appointment, so I wasn't able to watch VPP versus 4 Anchors. But which is the new kind of Fin stack, 4 Anchors and Sea Captain, which is Trixie, Matumbaman, Boogie, and the rest of what was the new Fnatic squad there. Can't exactly remember. Come With Me, I believe, is part of that, or it was at least standing in for them in that game. But not exactly sure. If we just check Dota 2 Lounge here quickly. Yeah, Virtus Pro Polar was able to beat them. So pretty awesome stuff there, but guys, definitely check out after this game WCA tonight starting in 3 hours from now. We've got Navi versus Newbie, LGD versus C9, Alliance versus Titan, and IG versus Vici Gaming. So pretty freaking awesome lineup from them. Kudos to them. It is an offline tournament, guys, so unfortunately I won't be able to bring you coverage as I do cast most often from the ticket. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to pick up that one, but I certainly will be watching and tweeting about it. Follow me at MRP_Dota. We do have a Slark from Complexity Gaming, so pretty sweet pickup here. We'll see if Limp picks that up in the off lane, or Moon Meander will play it in the safe lane, or in the 1 position at least. Slark's pretty damn good safe laner with Death Pact to purge. Most disables, I should say, like things like Rupture do persist through it. But with Death Pact and Leap, he's pretty survivable, especially when he gets that Shadow Dance up. So even if they wanted to run him solo and roam the Witch Doctor, you presume that Enigma will be in the jungle here. So we'll see what they do with the Slark, but he's definitely a solid, safe laner there. They're looking. It looks like Complexity Gaming is looking to hit their stride mid game, and they get that first level up in Black Hole. They get the Death Ward up. A Slark starts getting up an item or two, perhaps a Yasha, perhaps that Sanjin Yasha, or even just phase drums kind of thing. Treads drums, I should say. Treads is probably more common build on Slark. And the Ewel's phase up on Swindle's DP. They will definitely hit their mid-game stride. They're definitely trying not to take it late versus this Medusa. So despite this patch and being able to kind of settle for passivity and farm and gaining the advantage, Complexity Gaming will probably be pressured to do things early here with the 2 core Slark and Death Prophet up against a Dusa Centaur War Runner at this point, and probably the mid going to be picked up here from Shadows of the Past. TA is going to be banned out from Complexity, so they certainly are expecting a mid. Taking out a TA who has a lot of snowball potential, who can get them through the mid game until Medusa becomes the late game fear that she wants to be here. She aspires to be in every game. So Nature's Prophet going to be banned out from Shadows of the Past, so they are banning out a Limp hero here in the offlane. So they're expecting a 1 position Slark on Moon. Not sure if I've seen Moon play this too often. I have on his stream here and there, but he actually was playing Medusa last night. But I don't think I've seen Slark on Moon Meander in Pro Dota. Puck is going to be picked up for Shadows of the Past here, so some good control. Again, a snowballing hero of sorts. She can get up that 9-10 minute blink on this Puck is going to do a hell of a lot of work with the silence over on Slark if he's not able to get off his Death Pact before the silence preemptively. And the coil as well, even though he has Shadow Dance, going to bust and cause the stun on him. So Puck, really nice pickup here. Also does fairly well in the mid lane up against the Death Prophet, able to evade the Crypt Swarms there with phase shifts. So pretty damn well-rounded lineup from Shadows of the Past here. I do like it. Nayrok squad looking good here. But definitely nothing to scoff at is Complexities. We'll see what they look to do with this off-laner here. The Tide and the Nature's Prophet are banned out, as well as the Brew, but they'll pick up a Treant Protector. So perhaps they look to put Limp in the offlane on the Enigma, and they do. He does pick up the Enigma right away, so it will be a safe, or maybe a safe lane Enigma with an aggressive try, Witch Doctor, Treant Protector, as well as the Slark. Pretty good range on Leech Seed, I should say. So perhaps they look to go aggro. Enigma definitely able to run the off lane, and it looks like Limp will go straight there to ward. So it looks like he will be in the off lane. Shout out to Erica from Infinity. Erica, wherever you are, we're thinking of you. But very nice there. Shout out to Angie from Nayrock as well. So everyone's got girls. This is how, boys and girls, if you want to grow up and get women, play Dota for a living. That's exactly what you want to do. We have emerged from the world of nerds to being cool and, more importantly, having money. So grow up, be pro. But we'll see Limp in the offlane on this Enigma on the side of Complexity Gaming. We've got Riser on the 5 position Treant Protector, Z-Freak on the 4 Witch Doctor, Swindle Melons in the mid on his signature DP here, and Moon Meander in the 1 position Slark. On the side of Shadows of the Past, we've got MJW. He's been standing in for quite a few teams recently on this 3 position Centaur War Runner. We've got Lust on the 5 Rubik. I don't even know. Bars on Medusa here. I think it's Lie, if I remember correctly, but regardless, Medusa on the 1 there, Nayrock on the 4 position Vengeful Spirit, and in the mid, Infinity, who's played pretty damn good from what I've seen. He's a stand-in as well, I believe. Been playing for quite a few teams recently, and he has played pretty damn well from what I can recall on the puck in the mid. So we'll see Limp solo in the offlane. Doesn't start with boots, starts with floor clarities. Gonna look to disrupt the pulls with his Eidolons as well as the creep equilibrium in general. Bring it back to his tower perhaps, and deny up a creep from each of his waves. As you see there, he denies a melee creep with his Eidolons. So check out the mid matchup here. It's going to be Swindle's DP versus Infinity's Puck here. They're posturing up, just putting some harass into Moon in the top lane. He's got Riser in the back, waiting in the wings with no skill point yet. Z-Freak is on the... Yeah, Z-Freak is on the cliff here. Not exactly sure how he managed to do that. But anyways... he'll have a good time until he can courier over a TP, which he cannot because the courier doesn't fly. So, I'd love to know how he got up there, but unfortunately I can't. But check out the replay at some point if you haven't already purchased your Dota 2 Canada ticket on the store. It does come with the Bearski courier, so although there's not much Dota left, there is some value in that courier. Very nice courier. We'll see Limp here. Looking to take some last hits from Nayrock, rotating into the jungle with his Eidolons, trying to take out this Centaur Conqueror here. We'll see if he can grab that last hit, and no, it's taken by Nayrock, unfortunately, and he won't even soak experience from that as he was rotating back to the lane. Moon Meander in the top lane with the help of Riser and the Leech Seed will actually take out the Centaur, and they will finish off Lust as well. That right click early from Riser coming in to help them out. So sorry about missing that one, guys, but... Yep, just a pounce from the Leech Seed. Telekinesis went out onto Moon as well, but they do bring down MJW. He's only got a Stout Shield and no points in return. Level 1, so running in that dual lane, wasn't too worried about leveling up return. Z-Freak still on the cliff. He's serving as a pretty mobile, a mobile ward here. So, yeah. Rough times for Z-Freak here. He's going to be sitting at level 1 for a long time. And that is super unfortunate for Complexity Gaming as we are in the money for this game. But yeah. We'll see Medusa doing extremely well bottom. 11-1 up against the 9-2 of Moon Meander in the top lane. MJW going to take a little harass from Riser and reciprocate. He'll eat up a tango here. He's got tons of regen left. 5 tangos left. He's going to look to probably buy his boots here with 460 gold. 1100 gold sitting on Moon Meander Slark. So with that first kill, we'll see if he looks to buy up his treads here. No, he buys a Poor Man's Shield and boots. Yeah, so... and his Belt of Giant Strength here. So he'll be going into treads. No Midas. Doesn't seem like they want to take it late, and that's certainly granted. Considering the lineup of Shadows of the Past here. Big story of the mid game, though, or the early game, I should say, is Z-Freak is stuck on the hill, and he is scouted out at this point. Lust dropped a ward. it seems top lane. He will fly in the courier here and promptly TP out. So, oh, but he'll be telekinesed. And wow, the play by Lust here sees the TP come in. Wow, that is just terrible for Z-Freak. And he's going to have to fly the courier all the way back to base. Good thing he didn't use the speed boost there because that is on a large cooldown in this patch. And excellent play by Lust. Infinity can certainly solo kill Riser here if he's able to phase shift that paralyzing cask, which is nothing is leveled up right now for Z-Freak. So there is a ward here from Complexity, so they will see him rotate over if he decides to do that. Probably going to deny a rune here. Yep, rune denied up by Infinity. And he's going to phase shift a right click there. We take a look at the hero levels though, and yeah, Z-Freak's still at 1. Everybody else at least 2. Lust not doing extremely well on this Rubik, so there is catch-up potential. He's barely dinging 2 here. Rough game, Witch Doctor coming out from Infinity. Z-Freak gonna get this TP. Can he do it? Can he make it out? He does bring a sentry along with him, knowing that they probably saw him TPing there, and that in order for Lust to see up the hill and telekinesis him, he must have had vision. So big committal. Committal is high from Z-Freak. He will rotate immediately into the top lane. They'll make it a safe lane try. We'll see if Limp has completely abandons the off lane here. It seems like he will. He is sitting at level 4 with a Ring of Bassi and boots. So he'll make his way into the jungle to get a little bit more farm. Unfortunately for them, that means Medusa is totally free farming on this bot lane here. So unfortunately, they're going to have to concede that. MJW, the leap actually misses, but the paralyzing cask does go through. Living Growth out onto Moon. He's going to be able to chase him down. No, he won't go for it. If they would have clicked on MJW, they would have known he had no mana to stomp them once again once it was off cooldown, but they weren't able to chase him down. Going to play it safe for now. Living Growth out onto Moon. He's got his treads up. He's doing pretty well, so not looking to throw any advantage. Less going to have a reconnect here, guys. We'll take a look at the items in the mid. Just a Null Talisman bottle with Boots out for Infinity, and Boots Null Talisman out for Swindle bottle on the way, as well as his Phase Boots. So he's doing well in the mid lane, sitting up at 34 and 6 at the top of the last hits denies board of the CS board here. So 25 and 4 for Infinity. Not doing terribly, but certainly losing the lane in terms of CS. We'll see who grabs rune control, even though there are 2 runes now, and continues on to win the matchup here. But experience is pretty much dead even. Denies are 6-4 in favor of Swindle, so he's ahead by 170 experience. We did have a DC from Lust, so the admin's wondering what his issues are. UG pause from Swindle Melon. Seems to be fixing his lag. And Boots are out here for Lust, so he is ahead of Z-Freak, that's for sure, and so is everyone on the map. Nayrok's got his boots, and that's about it. Phase Bassi, 200 gold onto the Medusa. Probably got something on the way. No, just a smoke on the way to Nayrok here. So everyone looking about as they should at this point. Of course, Medusa leading net worth in terms of her team, and second only to Swindle's, having that free farm there, but Moon having that kill, of course, is going to have a little less CS at 18 against the 29, but that does pretty much catch up in terms of net worth there. So Medusa about to ding 6 here with this 1 creep, but she will have her Stone Gaze up. See if she chooses to level it. Opting for a 2 in stats and 3 in Mystic Snake so far. So level 6 not used quite yet. Probably only use the Stone Gaze in a defensive manner if has to. MJW contesting the pull here. He actually picked up 3 creeps with that double edge there, so that's pretty awesome for him. Both stealing experience and gaining it for himself from Z-Freak, who's already damn low, still sitting at level 1. Actually, it did just ding 2 here. So he has Voodoo Restoration up, as well as the Cask. He sees that Slark is low here, MJW does, and he will posture up and look to put some aggression in here. There's a smoke rotation from both supports, from Shadows of the Past, to look to take out Swindle, and that's the best target they can find. Swindle's actually on the low count. They're going to use the Coil. Here comes the Telekinesis, as well as a Wave of Terror. A few right clicks, Magic Missile into him. Illusory Orb will finish him off. Actually, a Fade Bolt from the Rubik does take the last hit. So last hit goes to Lust. Definitely a huge kill for them there. Taking out the top of the net worth chart, and Medusa assuming her position as she should at top of the net worth here. So she did put one skill point into Mana Shield for the defensive, for the tankiness and a little bit of defense there. Take a little bit of punishment without worrying too much about dying. Does ding 7 now. Has what seems to be has the Aquila up now, so yeah. Still 2 levels in stats, and totally has Mystic Snake maxed out at this point. So doing well on that Dusa there. Infinity doing fairly well mid as well after that, sharing that kill bounty. Soul Ring does come out for Limp, so he's doing well in the jungle. Having that couriered over to him now. Looks like MJW's camping the rune. He's a little bit early here, but nonetheless going to secure this here. Swindle's actually walking into him here. He does have the Stampede. Will he use it? She actually pops Exorcism. Big wasted ult here from Swindle. The spirits are going to chase over and find nothing. There was a rotation there from Limp. And MJW types LOL in team chat. It seems. Jump down from Infinity. He's going to find the rune bottom. No, it's going to actually be picked up by Nayrok. So, yeah, not too good there. He'll Bottle Crow. Send his bottle back. He's got 1,000 gold out. Infinity does. We'll see if they look to posture up on MJW as the tower is taken bottom here by the 1 position Medusa for Shadows of the Past. But Nayrok sitting mid with a smoke. Lust is in vision of Swindle here. Yeah, Lust was in vision there, walking across the river. So Swindle's going to play it safe and back off a bit, retreat into the jungle perhaps. No stacks for him to farm up. Limp just doing work in the jungle here. He's got his Soul Ring coming out to him now. And his Bassi as well. Moon going to put a little harass into MJW here. Z-Freak doing a side pull into the large camp. And he's found his level 4. So already pretty much on parity with the Rubik here. Dark Pact going to be casted by Moon just to scare off MJW and secure a cute few last hits there. Supports have rotated to the top lane for Shadows of the Past. They're sitting behind MJW on the Centaur. Take a look at the levels here. Both cores, mid and safe lane, are level 8 there for Shadows of the Past, and Moon needs to be doing a little catching up here. Almost going to ding 8, probably gave a little bit of room over to Z-Freak to catch up, being as he was on the cliff for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game there. So perhaps they look to go on MJW here. They do have a Black Hole as well as a level 3 Malefice from Limp, so not opting to go Midnight Pulse as a lot of Enigmas do these days. He actually whiffs the Black Hole, Limp does. And TP out from Z-Freak to the bot lane, or to the mid lane, and Riser TP's out as well. They look to posture up on Swindle here, but there's 4 in the mid lane now, 4v3 in favor of Complexity Gaming, but Limp does not have Black Hole nor any mana at this point with his Soul Ring. 15 seconds on cooldown. Z-Freak will find this Illusion Rune. He'll catch a Magic Missile in the face, as well as a Telekinesis here, and the Orb and Waning Rift will hit on him, but the Living Growth will keep him up. And just not enough firepower here from Shadows of the Past. Moon gonna rotate in the back, and he doesn't have Pounce there, but a Crypt Swarm from Swindle will clean up Nayrok on the Vengeful Spirit there. So they do find a kill, as well as MJW falling in the top lane. So solo kill for Moon, and he rotated around. Excellent play by him. Centaur was low, not having his Tranquils, as well as... But a Telekinesis into a Hoof Stomp and a double edge here in Moon will not be enough to finish him off. Just going to say he was low from that gank attempt, MJW was, and Moon Meander went on him and made him pay for staying in lane. So 1,900 gold out on this puck, as well as 1,900 on MJW Centaur. So both of them about 300 gold away from their shiny new Blink Daggers, and that's when they'll look to put pressure on the lineup of Complexity as well as create space for their Medusa, who's sitting at 5,300, almost 5,400 net worth now. Drums Aquila Phase at 11 minutes in, so having an unbelievable time is this one position Dusa, and the clock is ticking for Complexity Gaming. So they're going to have to start taking towers, they're going to have to start gaining some semblance of map control here, choking Medusa out. If they want to take this late game, that's certainly something they're going to have to be able to do, is to farm most of the map. And they do have a lineup that is certainly capable of that, with the Enigma, with the Slark, and the Death Prophet even to some extent, farming up stacks with their Crypt Swarm. 3 will rotate top, including the Dusa here. They'll get the deny on the tower. Lust will pick that up. And Swindle's going to look to take mid lane. There are TPs in here from Infinity. She'll throw the illusory orb out, but being as she is alone, she will throw the coil out now. And there is rotation coming over from Nayrok. Swindle will not bust the coil using the Nature's growth to living growth to keep her up. But Telekinesis, as well as a Waning Rift, gonna finish off Swindle there. Stone Gaze gonna be used here to slow up Limp. They'll find 2, and Z-Freak is a stone, but he's gonna get Living Growth up and try to run away, but the swap is there from Nayrok, and the Living Growth is there. They will pick up a kill for the Slark there. So they do find Nayrok, but that's about it. If they find out Medusa or MJW here, that will be a much better trade for them, but it is not. It is a 3-for-1, 2 cores, and a support from Complexity, going down for just a simple support from Shadows of the Past. We'll take a look at the fight recap. That's about a 1,300 gold swing, as well as a 2,800 experience, or sorry, I should say 1,800 experience swing going in the way of Shadows of the Past. So good trade for them mid. They also save their tier 1 for now. Blink out from Infinity to avoid being Malefice there from Limp. Rubik does steal Crypt Swarm, so that'll help to clear up the waves and the Eidolons. Fade Bolt, Crypt Swarm, going to put a lot of punishment. Blink in from Moon Meander, as well as the Leap. He'll get silenced up from the Raining Rift, but the Paralyzing Cask and one right click from Limp will take down a Lust on the Rubik there. So well played by them to get a quick pick and disengage, not having Exorcism, having Slark a little bit low. So there is the Blink Dagger pickup there. First time we're going to see it from Moon. He's going to rotate down to the bot lane. This is an item I'm a big fan of on Slark. I feel like it offers a lot more than Shadow Blade does. Shadow Blade's more easily counterable, and it's just too much of a gold investment if you ask me. Jump in mid from MJW, as well as the blink in from Infinity, but not going to be enough to finish Link off. A jump in from Moon Meander with the blink, and the Crypt Swarm will pick up Nayrok on the Vengeful Spirit. Will they look to dive deeper? Malefice goes out onto MJW. Jump in Stone Gaze. Living Growth from Riser, going to sound the retreat from Complexity, but Riser will probably pay with his life here. He'll Nature's guys up. Are there wards here? Doesn't seem that there are. Paralyzing Cast goes out onto 2. Exorcism going to be cast. They're going to find Infinity if he's not able to get out. He does jaunt away to his Bolt and Blink. He will look to TP out and will be successful in doing so. Actually TPing towards the mid lane. And Living Growth here stolen by Lust. They're going to put a Crypt Swarm and a Paralyzing Cast into the Dusa, but not going to find much. Living Growth is a nice steal here from Lust on the Rubik. I was wondering why there was a Living Growth on the Radiant Tower there for a second. So that will end the duration of this Exorcism here, and they won't be able to take down this tier 1. In fact, it'll be out of deny range, and he'll be able to heal it up for as long as he has this Living Growth. So sweet spell steal there from Lust, and that'll deter the push in the mid lane. Obviously, Complexity privy to the fact that they need to do something and do it early, so that at least if nothing else, they put pressure on this Medusa, and so she's not able to farm, and she's not quite farmed enough to split push. She has no Lincolns, does seem to be building into the Lincolns with her Perseverance, so standard build there. But 1,000 gold, Treads, PMS, Aquila, and Blink out for Moon Meander. He's topping the net worth chart at this point. So even if they don't get the best of trades, as long as they get objectives and fairly even trades in these engagements, it's good for Complexity Gaming, because in that sense, at least Medusa won't be solo farming, and if she is, they will be getting things done elsewhere on the map, and they should get a lot done. Moon going to rotate into the bot lane. Not going to find much here. Does want to check the 16-minute rune, so he'll find a regen, which isn't going to do much for him. He'll just scout that out for a teammate. Puck does bottle the bounty rune top. And he'll rotate around and perhaps find Nayrok here, who's going to rotate into the lane. Swindle is there, so Nayrok might back off right into the face of Moon here. We'll see. He does back. Moon actually walks around, so very fortunate for Nayrok here. He's going to be out of range. They're going to posture up to push this safe lane. T1 is Shadows of the Past with 4 heroes in the top lane. Nayrok just looking to defend bottom, so perhaps he attracts the attention of Swindle. Crypt Swarm going to go out, jump in, blink, and the leap going to miss from Moon Meander. Instant TP out from Nayrok. They're going to push this top lane with only Puck, and the Medusa showing Centaur now rotates in. There's a TP bottom from Lust, the Rubik. They do take the tower, and Medusa does get the last hit, so that's going to skyrocket her up the net worth chart. Exorcism going to be popped here, but they're going to... Oh, nice Yules to dodge the Illusory Orb, and the Spirits should finish off Nayrok here if Swindle's able to juke. He is, and he'll get the Living Growth on him, and it's doing a lot of work onto Infinity. Will he drop him? No, the phase shift at the last moment, and Swindle is not there underneath the tower. Moon will jump in and pick off Lust. In the meantime, it's a 3-0 in the bot lane. Despite losing their top tower, and the tower going to go down here pretty soon. Jaunt out from Infinity, so he will blink to safety here, so it seems, and they will be able to clean up the safe lane T1. So in the end, tower for tower and 3 kills going the way of Complexity Gaming. Good trade for them. Take a look at the graphs. They're indicative of that kind of trade there. Nice dip towards Complexity in both experience and net worth, but pretty small leads at this point. Net worth about 2,000 and 3,000 in the way, almost 4,000 in the way of experience there. So Z-Freak has caught up. He's sitting at level 8. That is above both the supports of Shadows of the Past here. So Cliff Gaming, Moon Meander going to find another pick off despite getting swapped there. Put that last hit from his Shiv into Nayrok's Vengeful Spirit there. He's sitting on 2,900 gold at 6-0-5, doing extremely well. Look at the KDA. MJW having a pretty underwhelming game despite having his blink at this point on the Centaur. He fed a few away in the offlane, including a solo kill to Moon Meander's 6-0-5 Slark. And he is your resident Canadian player in this Dota 2 Canada Cup playoff game, so only fitting that he is topping the KDA right now. He's not topping the last hits chart, not by a long shot. Looking at Medusa sitting at 111 CS there, but Limp in the mid lane, just gonna push it out a bit. His Eidolon's gonna get harassed by this Mystic Snake here from the Medusa. She's sitting on 2,100 gold, so we'll see if she grabs up that ultimate orb anytime soon. Swindle does pick up his drums, so phase drums Yule Scepter up on this Death Prophet, so she's hit early mid-game critical mass, certainly. Infinity not going to look for a solo kill, doesn't quite have the burst to kill off Moon Meander, and doesn't really have the disable to stop Shadow Dance here. So we'll look to see if they posture up and go on this Dusa mid. Cask does go out as well as the Leech Seed, but Limp didn't look like he wanted to commit to it too much. Fade Bolt out onto the side of Complexity from Lust. Cask will bounce around a bit there. Moon is rotating towards the mid lane. This is something Infinity did see. So perhaps you will see, Shadows of the Past back off from this mid lane here, knowing that Moon is up on the high ground. Nice aggressive ward here, giving them some good information. So Moon will be able to blink forward. He does blink forward, pounce, and the Death Pact. They're going to drain all this mana from the Medusa immediately. So there is no Stone Gaze here. Exorcism is popped as well. Malefice goes out. Nice swap by Nayrok. Coil on 3 from Infinity, and they're going to kill off the Medusa though, and the Black Hole is onto 2 here. Exorcism doing a lot of work, as well as the Death Ward, and the MJW Centaur will go down as well. The Creeps will take out the mid T1 in the meantime, and they'll be able to use the remainder of this Exorcism into the T2. Only Infinity surviving. Lust was not even in that fight, so great play mid. Infinity tried to salvage the team fight there, hitting a nice coil as well as a waning rift, but just not enough burst there, not enough follow-up with the Medusa down. So some Illusory Orb harass coming out here from Infinity, but they should take this mid T2 with ease, and doesn't look like they'll go high ground with only 4 seconds on the spawn times of both Medusa and MJW on that Centaur. But Swindle will look to farm up a bit of their jungle, one more Crypt Swarm and a couple right clicks, yep, and that's going to do that. He'll take out their hard camp, but it will spawn momentarily there, so Looking good here, level 13 on both Slark and Death Prophet for Complexity Gaming. Only level 12 on the Medusa, and everyone following a little lower than that for the side of Shadows of the Past. 7,500 experience lead has been generated here from Complexity Gaming, as well as a 7,500 gold lead. So they're looking good in this portion of the game here. Hopefully they can keep Medusa down in terms of net worth for their sake and continue to snowball towards their racks. They did place down this nice new ward that was placed in the patch. Gives them a lot of information on when the courier is going, what items are being bought, etc., etc., who is rotating towards the mid lane or the off lane there. So sweet ward there from Complexity. They've also got this new Roshan pit ward, which gives them the rune as well as both paths here into the pit. They're going to look to go into Rosh here. Exorcism is up in 8 seconds. There's no medallion. Oh, there is a medallion on Riser here, so they should be able to drop this fairly quickly without the help of Moon, who can be split pushing or at least just guarding the pit from the outside here. Doesn't look like Shadows of the Past is privy to this. There is defense here from Z-Freak in the top lane, so not the full 5-man lineup, but Roche going to go down, Moon Meander going to pick it up, and they're going to be able to do a lot with this. Limp TPs to the top lane. Z-Freak's going to get in range for a cask here. Oh, and he actually just stopped up for that 1 second to right-click that creep and is no longer in range, but not sure that they have the solo kill potential without the black hole there. So Swindle going to push out the mid lane a bit. With a Crypt Swarm, he's got 2,200 gold as well as a casual Vit booster, so probably look to build into that heart and make that not so casual and oh so serious at some point. With the 2,200 gold, Scotty is out for Moon Meander, so he's sitting at 11,000 net worth, doing extremely well. Take a look at the item progression for Shadows of the Past here. Nothing really new. Ultimate Orb out on this puck, presumably building into a Scythe of Vice, but Lincoln's finally does come out for Medusa here. So she's sitting on that Lincoln's, Aquila, Treads, or Phase Boots and Drums at 23 minutes. Not terrible timing, not the best. You'd probably want to see like an 18-minute Lincoln's, but with the Drums as well as the Phase and the Aquila, pretty damn good timing on this Lincoln's for Medusa. Of course, she is sitting at 148 last hits at this point, so doing well in the CS department. Hasn't done so well in the team fights. Of course, she's been focused and one time picked off a little bit early mid despite being swapped. Still did get cleaned up to the Exorcism, I believe, at that point from Swindle Melons. So Infinity probably going to get caught out here top lane. She will phase and blink out in a timely manner. So well played by Infinity to not get caught out there. That would have been a big kill and probably barring a buyback, which was available. I was going to say they would have taken a T2. Of course, that's not the most important tower in the game, but the more objectives taken from Complexity, the closer they are to winning this game, because they certainly don't want to take it too late. MJW is going to be spotted in this bot lane, farming the wave. Doesn't look like Swindle is too attracted to trying to solo kill him, especially being as low as he is on mana. But he'll bottle up once and put a silence into MJW, see if he backs off. No, Swindle just wasting his mana. Just casually wasting his mana. Stampede is committed mid. Moon Meander does find a kill top on Infinity. The Living Growth gonna sound Riser's Retreat as well as Nature's Living Growth as well as Overgrowth, I should say. Living Armor as well as Overgrowth. But Moon gonna jump in on mid. The Mana Shield is gonna make Medusa here way too tanky for him. He's gonna Shadow Dance and walk out. So he does find a kill in the top lane on this puck. And that's going to delay the Scythe of Vice even more and make Moon even fatter, sitting on the Scotty as well as his Treads and Blink and Aquila and 1,300 gold with the Aegis in hand. So Moon looking good here. Hopefully they get something done onto this Jusa sometime soon, because she's starting to build into her Yasha and is going to be getting pretty damn scary as we move towards the late game here. So this is game one. It is a best of 3 series, guys. The third place matchup in the Dota 2 Canada Cup. We'll look at Limp. I haven't checked out his item progression in a while. He's got his mech and his BKB up at this point, so they can certainly look to 5-men. Perhaps they're waiting for another item or two. I know that Moon is quite an advocate for that when you're in a position of advantage in this patch. Let's see if Moon looks to go in here. He will, but he will miss. A nice phase shift by Infinity. Misses the leap. Telekinesis up. Mystic Snake gonna go through. Does not. May have been a good idea. Probably wouldn't have drained enough mana. Nope, only 200 mana, so you still would have been able to Shadow Dance away if that was the case. So Medusa being a little conservative with her mana pool here. Does have the Stone Gaze up. Riser is building into his Aghanim Scepter with Point Booster and 1500 gold, so he's another 1500 gold away from that. Sorry, I should say Z-Freak. Riser has pretty much nothing, Arc Boots and Medallion, but he is 5-position Treant Protector, and that's pretty damn good for your 5-position. Heart does come out now for Swindle Melons. He's really hit critical mass here. Perhaps a Shiva's comes out after this, or even an Assault Cuirass, but yeah. Not too much in the way of item progression left for Swindle here. He's 5 slotted, well 4 slotted I guess at this point. You can even sell the drums at the end of the game. But he's got 3 items that he's certainly going to want to have in the late game at 27 minutes in. But as I said, complexity probably not too inclined to go into the late game in this one. So they'll posture up top lane. Looks like Z-Freak will rotate over as well with Moon Meander. Moving quickly, but he is under vision right now, so perhaps he notices that there is a ward here. Exorcism going to be Pop Silence, is going to go out onto this Dusa here, but that'll just zone her out for the time being. Swindle doesn't want to take too much of the tower damage, and this is really going to hinder the Exorcism's ability to do a lot. Of course, the damage that's done is based on the distance traveled, just by virtue of the fact that the spirits have to go out and come back towards Swindle. So you'll see Swindle posture really close to this tower when he can, and that'll do a lot of damage. And they'll just back off and get a tower for free here, committing the Exorcism. It looks like some split push was going on from Nayrok here. He's going to get Yulesed and silenced up, and he'll die. Lust does make it out. But the swap only going to delay the inevitable. Swindle will pick up the last hit with a right click there on that kill. And free kill for him. Supports Nayrok and Lust of Shadows of the Past super poor despite the start that Z-Freak had. He's only 900 gold from his Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to do a lot of work here. Infinity does put an Orb and a Waning Rift into Riser in the mid lane, but not going to do much there. Blink does come out for Lust here, so he'll be a little bit more influential in these team fights, being able to position himself for a good steal and being able to jump initiate with a Telekinesis. But in the meantime, Basher came out for Moon Meander, so building into that Abyssal Blade, presumably here to lock down the Medusa. Looks like a good choice for him, or any target of his choice for that matter, especially adds to his, increases his solo kill potential there, so. He's going to rotate towards the top lane. He does see the courier here by virtue of that ward that I mentioned before, but some nice micro from whoever was using it. Seems like it might have been Infinity. He's got his Scythe of Vice flying in towards him. But it's going to get killed by Moon Meander, and there's 3,500 gold on that courier. Great play from Moon. Shows you the power of this ward, guys. If you can get it down in any time during the mid game and deny a big item for a couple minutes coming out, from the enemy team, that's a huge advantage. That's 2 minutes 45 seconds on the sideline for that Scythe of Vice, and they should go in and go in soon with this Aegis still up here. Aegis is actually probably down. Yep, it is down. Goes down at 5 minutes now in this patch, guys, if you weren't aware of that. So perhaps they wait for the next Roshan and go in, but by that time that Scythe of Vice will be up for Infinity's puck there, so yeah. Mid-game looks good for complexity. They look to be in a commanding lead. 10,000, in excess of 10,000 experience and net worth lead. They're waiting on a long Roche timer, so this is going to be 3 minutes from now. This is the 8-minute mark from when they originally took it. Oh, never mind, actually, it'll only be a minute and a half. That was just the indicator that the time was soon to be revealed there. Stampede does happen top lane. Infinity and MJW going on Z-Freak. They'll probably find him here. The cask was able to delay a death here, and he almost feeds the courier over with his full Aghanims on it. So he did buy out his Aghanims, did Z-Freak, so not a big loss there. Moon Meander going to find a kill onto Nayrok there in the meantime.
Radiant's bottom tower
and Lust will be able to TP out after blinking away. But the tower will go down to Swindle's solo exorcism in the bot lane. Moon gonna come in here, and he's got Basher. He jumps, leaps, does latch. He uses the Dark Pack as well as the exorcism, doing tons of work here. And without any mana left, no Stone Gaze available for Medusa here. So they'll probably look to push into the bot lane with that Deuce up, at least force a buyback. With that Deuce down, I should say. A Living Growth doesn't go out. Blink, a jump in, phase shifted is the pounce from Moon Meander, but they'll try and put some punishment into this tower, just a little bit of chip damage here. Moon will clean up the wave with his Dark Pack, and he'll probably back off here soon. Jump in, Waning Rift from Infinity. Does she commit the coil here? It's off. It's on cooldown, so 7 seconds left there. But they get some free chip damage here. There is no Living Growth, or Living Armor. I keep saying that. Living Armor over Growth. There is no Living Armor up on Lust's Rubik here, so he's not going to be able to heal those up. Perhaps he looks to steal that at the next available moment. Ags came out here for Z-Freak, so Cliff Gaming is real, folks. He's sitting at the top of all the supports in the game. That was just pure strategy to get Moon ahead there in the early game. I'm not sure why Complexity didn't choose to punish that more when they saw him on the hill with the puck. But Scythe of Vice, the courier respawns, and Scythe of Vice finally does come out for Infinity here. So that's a big pickup onto Moon Meander's Slark with no BKB. If they're able to burst him down before he's able to get off his Shadow Dance, that would be a huge pickup for them and pretty much deny most of the damage up from the lineup of Complexity, aside from the Exorcism from Swindle and a little bit of Crypt Swarm spam. But to mitigate for that possibility, they will pick up a Roche here, and Moon will get the Aegis. While the lanes were being pushed out by MJW in the top, he'll force out and go home here. Moon's going to find Infinity. Will he blink in and look for the pounce? No, even though the phase shift was down. Pretty risky right in front of the Radiant base here, so smart play by Moon. Doesn't want to throw his advantage here. They got a pretty big wave here mid. Doesn't look like they want to go in just yet. There is a sentry here for the Radiant side, scouting out Complexity's ward here, but they haven't dewarded it yet. They will farm up the Ancient's Moon, and Limp will for Complexity. Limp been pretty underwhelming on this Enigma, but he does have his Blink and BKB as well as 2900 gold, so we'll be sure to see his footprint or his mark in the next team fight there. So MJW not too much in the way of item progression, but he does have 2900 gold here. Jump in from Moon Meander. Pounce will miss by virtue of the Stampede. Swindle not able to Yule's up Nayrok quite yet, but jump in Leech Seed from Riser, and Nayrok has just been the sacrificial lamb many times so far in this game, sitting at 1, 9, and 4 on the KDA. So unfortunate for him. The captain has to take the fall when the team's not doing well. You will see some split push with the Manta style mid from the Medusa here. Limp will just rotate back to push that lane out once again. It doesn't look like Complexity is too excited to go high ground into that Stone Gaze here. Z-Freak may run into Medusa. No, she's TPing home there, so no wards on him either. Perhaps they want to look to get a little bit more aggressive vision here. They do have this nice ward, but no other vision really on the map for Complexity. As you can see, the vision for the Radiant side is totally choked within their quarter of the map here. There is an engagement here bottom. They went on MJW, and they'll find him for free. That's a godlike streak for Moon Meander. Infinity will jaunt upwards as well as the Blink here, so yeah, is going to get hit there. Pretty big misplay, and the Death Ward going to come out as well as the Cask. Phase shift, and she'll be able to blink into the trees, but doesn't blink. Infinity, please. Big misplay by that puck and a solo kill for Z-Freak. Blink was up after that phase shift, and she wouldn't have been able to get it off. Perhaps not sure where to blink to. Exorcism's going to get popped here. There is a buyback. There is a buyback from this puck, so we'll see if Infinity looks to use it sometime soon. But just a bad sequence of events there. Abyssal Blade out onto the Medusa. Can Stone Gaze come out? There's no mana for it. Defensive swap out from Nayrok. Nayrok's going to get cleaned up by Moon Meander really quick, and a few right clicks into Infinity will clean him up. Limp going to get the last hit as there was a Hex up on Moon Meander. GG is called here. So excellent play by Complexity. They're teaching the Dota world how to shut down this Medusa, get aggressive, and push your advantage, but don't be too... Don't go headlong into the opponent's base. Grabbing up their Aegis, playing it safe, finding pickoffs with the Slark, with the Blink Dagger. Looks like Lust did steal the Black Hole there when I was able to pop Moon Meander's Aegis at the end. But to no avail, they lose game 1. And congratulations to those that won the prize for watching the witnessing victory there. Thank you for watching, guys. We're gonna have game 2 coming up pretty much immediately after this game. This is the Dota 2 Canada Cup playoffs in the 3rd place matchup with Complexity Gaming versus Shadows of the Past. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and I will be back with Game 2 sometime soon. We'll see if Shadows of the Past can redeem themselves and take this to an exciting, all-deciding Game 3 for the money, or if Complexity will finish them off and earn their prize. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll be back soon. Hi, Lua. Hi, Lua. Hello, Dota 2 fans, and welcome back for Game 2 of our third place matchup in the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 3 playoffs between Shadows of the Past versus Complexity Gaming. Complexity Gaming taking a convincing Game 1 with Moon Meander's Slark rolling over most of Shadows of the Past. Beyond godlike streak for him in that game. And pretty early Scotty as well. So they shut down the Medusa of High Lua on Shadows of the Past. I said Lai, not sure why. I guess that's a mix of Lua and High. But High Lua on that one position Medusa with a bunch of bars in his name that pissed me off and all the other casters off. But definitely not a poorly game played, but poorly played game, I should say, by Hailua. He did what he needed to do as that Dusa is farm well. He did get caught out one time, but usually you do rely on your Stone Gaze to be able to save you in those situations, but with his mana shield up and getting bursted so quickly from the lineup of Complexity, he wasn't able to get that off despite it being off of cooldown. So Complexity going to ban out the Death Prophet. They're not going to pick it up for Swindle this game, but they're going to ban it out against themselves. And the Treant Protector actually banned from Shadows of the Past, so something they don't want to see again. That Living Armor did quite a lot of work in that game, keeping up a few different targets who were aggressed on by Shadows of the Past. So good ban out from them. They'll ban out the Brew as well, so it doesn't seem like we'll see any Brew in this series. Net Diamond is going to be banned out. A Skywrath Mage from Complexity once again for the second game in a row. And Viper going to be the first pick here from Shadows of the Past. So Lane Dominator, a very stable core, someone who's tanky, a very good mech carrier with that corrosive skin. So also has, of course, the rest of his slows and the Nether Toxin to do quite a bit of damage to any low health hero or tower for that matter. So we'll see what Complexity Gaming wants to respond with here with their 1-2.
5 seconds remaining.
For those of you guys joining me from the East Coast, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. God knows I cannot, because Dota 2 Canada Cup doesn't screw around. We play the games right on schedule. No breaks in between here. So we'll see what the former Han squad in Complexity Gaming and the resident Canadian Moon Meander can do up in this second game if they can close out this series for third place against Shadows of the Past. Or if Shadows of the Past can salvage their hopes for the money here, for the third place finish, and all the accolades in the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 3. You can still grab up your ticket. It's on the Dota 2 store, guys. It comes with a Bearski Courier to support not only this season, but future seasons of the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and casters like me trying to make it in the world. So thanks again for your support, guys. I am More Rich. Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. And the Nature's Prophet as well as Razor going to be picked up here from Complexity Gaming. Really stable. Razor versus Viper, pretty classic matchup if they're not teamed up together. One in the safe lane, one in the mid. So we'll see how that works out. I think Razor does fairly well in that matchup. So we'll see how that pans out in the mid lane. Presumably they're one-on-one there, unless this Viper or Razor is a safe lane solo. Looks like Limp's Nature's Prophet is the first pickup here for Complexity Gaming. Definitely a hero he's very comfortable on. I've even seen, I'm pretty sure I've seen Riser play it too, in very rare situations in the jungle there, but I doubt we'll see that hero. Probably see Limp with the boost first off lane. Nature's Prophet definitely didn't look super comfortable on that Enigma last game. He is certainly one of the better players in the T2, T1.5 scene. Although Complexity Gaming, I'm not sure if I'm willing to call them a T2 team. They do seem to have something for a lot of the Tier 1 teams. I feel like just give them a bit more time to get acclimated to the game and the strategy. And even the map, actually the map moving more towards the way of the Han map, with a couple of the cliffs added this patch, and they'll be a much better team and a force to reckon with in the scene for sure. Of course, that's not subject to some shuffling of players and whatnot. Spirit Breaker, the Space Cow, going to be picked up for Shadows of the Past, so they're going to look to get aggressive, do something a little bit unorthodox, not something we haven't seen. I believe that was drafted today by Fnatic. Fnatic, I want to say 4 anchors, the
Team
old Fnatic,
ban.
the new team 4 anchors against MVMI. It may have been MVMI against them, which is also known as Virtus Pro Polar, but was drafted in that game. I was only able to catch a bit of that game before the doctor's appointment I had today, so that has been drafted
10
certainly
seconds
in
remaining.
6.82 and 6.82b, and we'll look to see what they do with it.
5
I've seen it
seconds
both in the
remaining.
4 role as well as the 3 and even the 1. So we'll see if they look to
Reserve
make it a
time.
support, perhaps an offlaner, or even a farmer. Not a huge fan of the Spirit Breaker farming, even with the rework to Empowering Haste as well as the increase in Greater Bash. So if you guys don't know, just to reiterate here, Empowering Haste works the same as before, but on a 20-second cooldown, it has an active ability, which basically gives him a sprint.
Radiant team ban.
And after that is up, that 6-second duration of that is up, while that active is on cooldown, it subtracts that sprint value from what Empowering Haste gives you. So a little bit more chase potential from Empowering Haste there,
Dire
and
team
the
pick.
first 3 levels of Greater Bash were buffed. So in terms of the damage, it ends up at the same amount, but the value points in Greater Bash are better, which allows you to level into Charge of Darkness and Empowering Haste. And also, Charge of Darkness cooldown was reduced pretty significantly. It does only trigger when the charge is cancelled or latches onto the target. So basically, there was a buff
10
to
seconds
short
remaining.
distance charges, like half the map distance charges. There was
5
a buff.
seconds
If
remaining.
you charge across the map, pretty much the whole map, it's about the same cooldown as it was before. So a
Reserve
buff
time.
across the board nonetheless. Senkin going to be picked up from Complexity. We're going to see Moon Meander, Slark, as well as Z-Freaks, a Witch Doctor from last game, banned out from Shadows of the Past. So they actually banned out 3 heroes that were in the lineup of Complexity last game, and you want to assume that that really plays into Complexity's hand there. Um, they're certainly not a one-trick pony here, so they are pro Dota players. But a lot of heroes Shadows of the Past doesn't want to see, so all the power to them in that respect. Spectre, once again, going to be banned out here. I believe it was banned out by Shadows of the Past last game, but it will be banned out by the Radiant side, by Complexity Gaming here, and they will also ban out the Earthshaker. So they don't want that long-range disengage ability, as well as his ability to clear waves, and the Echo Slam certainly buffed up by the units that will be spawned by Nature's Prophet on Limp. Their Sniper going to be picked up
Radiant team
from
pick.
Shadows of the Past. So we'll see if Infinity wants to handle this in the mid lane, or Hailua in the safe lane 1 position. Sniper there, so
Dire
yeah,
team pick.
it'll be either Viper in the mid or Sniper. Not sure what exactly you'll see. I don't feel like Sniper does particularly well against Razor. Plasma Field does a lot of damage early on. If he boots first even, he can get quite a bit off that static link. But the new duration of Headshot, Headshot was buffed and nerfed in this patch, if you guys didn't know. It is no longer a stun, so it does not cancel
10
TPs.
seconds
But what
remaining.
it does is it's 100% attack speed
5
and move
seconds
speed slow. So
remaining.
it basically holds you in place and slows your attack to as if you were stunned, but it does not
Reserve
stun you
time.
per se. So it's still pretty powerful because it
10
does
seconds
last
remaining.
1.5 seconds, I believe, which is pretty crazy when you're trying to man up against him. But I still
Radiant
feel like
team
the
ban.
Razor has the advantage in that matchup mid lane. So I feel like this will be a safe lane Sniper if I had to draft it. And a mid lane Viper. Swindle Melons is good on the Viper, but he's on the other team, so we'll probably see
10
Infinity on that
seconds
Viper.
remaining.
Swindle on that Razor. Dazzle pickup from Complexity, going to be
5
followed
seconds
up
remaining.
by the Beastmaster. So a little bit long range initiation with this Roar here, Primal Roar, as well as
Dire team
some
ban.
some good offlane presence and the Hawk to scout things out for the Spirit Breaker. So I like that pickup there. It's something reminiscent of what C9 likes to do a lot with Pilot Eye on the Beastmaster, having
10 seconds remaining.
Eternal Envy like bots around on his Tinker, or
5 seconds
using the
remaining.
Visage Familiars along with the Hawk and things of that sort.
Radiant team pick.
We'll see if the Beastmaster ends up being a support or the Spirit Breaker does. We'll definitely see 2 cores in the Viper and the Sniper. So it's the Viper Sniper combination from Shadows of the Past here. Doom ban from Complexity here, so that's a solid ban there. They're going to ban away a third core, so they're expecting 2 melee supports actually, Spirit Breaker and Beastmaster from Shadows of the Past. We'll see if that's what they
10
actually
seconds
choose to run. So they
remaining.
ban possible jungle hero, possible offlane hero,
5
even a
seconds
possible safe lane
remaining.
hero, but probably the least likely of the three in terms of the Doom there. They've got a hell of a lot of reserve time to think about this last pick, which will probably be Moon Meander's hero here. If we see Swindle in the mid on Razor and Limp on Nature's Prophet. Ember Spirit going to be banned out by Shadows of the Past, so perhaps they're expecting a safe lane Razor here, or they just didn't want to see the one position Ember in the hands of Moon. Ember certainly does a lot of work versus Shadows of the Past lineups. He's able to close the gap quickly on that sniper, do a lot of burst damage to bring him down. He does have the shield to avoid some of the magical damage from Roar, which I believe is magical. It is. The axes I know are physical, and so he's also not extremely worried about slows. A Viper Strike would definitely slow him down in terms of throwing out a spirit, but if he's already got a defensive spirit placed, he certainly isn't worried, and Disable is something Shadows of the Past lineup definitely lacks, aside from the few ultimates as well as the greater bash from Spirit Breaker. So Tidehunter pickup here from Complexity Gaming, really nice to round out their lineup. Nice tanky offlaner with the Kraken Shell to take off the dots provided by the Viper. And they're going to have a real good time in these team fights with the Ravage Epicenter combo, as well as the Eye of the Storm coming through from Swindle Melons, Razor in the mid lane. So we'll see what Shadows of the Past wants to round out their lineup with. We'll see if this SB Beastmaster is a support combo, as it seems that Complexity Gaming
5 seconds
believed
remaining.
it to be with that Doom ban. And they'll pick up the Batrider, so it does seem to be a double support combo unless they run, they're running a one position Beastmaster here. So High Lua on the Beastmaster, Sniper on Lust. Perhaps they're just role switching for this game, and these are heroes that they are more comfortable with. We'll see what the item build is. MJW is the offlaner, and he does have boots first and was pulled a ward. So he'll definitely be running Batrider off lane. Infinity with a Wraith Band, pooled 3 tangos in the mid with 2 branches, so for sure in the mid. Shout out to Erica once again from Infinity. And once again, we're thinking about you in the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Lust built boots first, so support sniper? Looks like we have a support sniper, folks, with boots first. And only 2 tangles. Tangles pulled away. Yeah, looks like we're going to see a max shrapnel build. Looking to push down this tower early. He's already got a clarity. So anyways, Lust on the 4 position. Sniper. Nayrok on the 5. Spirit Breaker. High Lua on the 1 position. Beastmaster. Infinity on the mid Viper. And MJW on the offlane Batrider. That is for Shadows of the Past. Tree ain't going to scout out the rune here. As is Z-Freak on the 5 position Dazzle. Swindle Melons on playing the 1 actually, or the safe lane carry on the Razor. We've got Limp, or Moon Meander actually, on Nature's Prophet. I've seen him play a lot of this in pub, so he's really comfortable on this hero. 4 position Sand King for Riser, and the off lane, once again, as usual, played by Limp with the Tidehunter here. So we'll see a nice mid Nature's Prophet. Beautiful. Love me some NP, guys. So we'll see him in the mid lane farming that up. Nayrok and Riser looking to trade here, but Riser just going to get a free D ward off, and he'll grab himself 50 gold and walk his ass on down onto the bottom lane. So going to be a tough matchup here for Moon, but he will have the Treants to scout to harass out Infinity and keep him out of lane. No corrosive skin yet. He actually leveled up the orb already, so these Treants are going to do a lot of work versus Infinity. And Moon Meander are going to have a good time in this mid lane. Pooled a couple tangles with a Null Talisman up. He's going to get some good last hitting going with the harass of the Treants. He's definitely a solid NP player. I've seen him play a lot, if not in pro games, certainly in pubs. So it's going to be a safe lane tri lane here with the support sniper, High Lua's Beastmaster, and We're going to see some pulling happening here from Nayrok's Spirit Breaker, but Limp is going to have a wonderful time in this off lane, maxing the Anchor Smash, because there's really nothing to hold him in place. Only right clicks, as well as the toolkit of the Spirit Breaker, which is based on chance here. MJW going to chase a little too deep towards Z-Freak. Riser going to chase him in the fire and think better of it. So he will get away without dying, but gonna lose his lane presence and won't get any experience for the time being as he wraps around. Looks like he'll retreat into the jungle, perhaps. No, just wrapping around safely behind the tier 1 in the off lane here. So Limp having a good time. He's going to get harassed a little bit from Lust, but he does have 2 last hits, and he's almost a level 2 here. He will grab it as the tower picks up this last creep here. He will take some access to the face, as well as a couple of headshots from Lust there.
Haste.
Bounty Rune going to be picked up by Nayrok in the top lane. Swindle doing well, sitting at 7 and 3, up against the 12 and 4 of Hailua's Beastmaster here. They're already charging onto Limp behind the tower. He'll have an Anchor Smash to keep him up, but the axes will clean him up there. And Hailua going to gain first blood on this Beastmaster. Definitely a hero you want farm on to be successful and to be impactful throughout the game. So Swindle or Moon Meander doing well in this mid lane. He's barely winning in terms of last hits, but in terms of deny is doing extremely well up against Infinity. And with 1 level in this corrosive skin, he just doesn't have the firepower in terms of his right clicks to bring down Infinity. Corrosive skin at level 1 is already 10 attack slow. So yeah. But nevertheless, he's sitting at level 4, 10 and 7 on the CS board, and doing very well versus what is otherwise considered a lane dominator. However, he is being charged here, and he will TP out though, so smart play by Moon. Perhaps the ward here, ward here scouted out the charge from Nayrok. So great play by Moon there, good map awareness. Riser doing some pulling in the bottom lane, MJW rotating out. He's already level 4, so he's doing an extremely good job in this off lane. Sitting at the highest level, tied for the highest level in the game here. Already obviously taking a lot of these pulls. Z-Freak and Riser don't have too much to take him down here, so he's just, doing what he can to stay within XP range. Plasma Field, though, going to come from the low ground. Will Firefly go down in time? It will not. He will be able to get himself up to the high ground. But he's stuck in the trees, and will Swindle notice this? He does wrap up around to the high ground. Will he Plasma Field here? He does, and he's going to get a free kill as long as he maintains vision on MJW. Free kill for Swindle. So unfortunate timing for MJW on the Batrider. Will feed over a kill to the 1 position Razor, and he'll happily walk out of lane and lose some CS for that one, being a level 4 Batrider as it was. Double stack here. Limp going to look to pull it into his wave, but he's a little early on that one. Probably just didn't want to take too much harass. What else is going on here? We've got Nayrok rotating around with his boots. He's sitting at level 2, hasn't really gotten much done, and that's, most often the problem with this Spirit Breaker is there's so much pressure on him with this Charge of Darkness to get something done in the early game, as in charge towards the mid lane or even the safe lane, but the supports are pretty much always postured up in this safe lane jungle for complexity, so they're getting a lot in terms of levels, sitting at level 3 each, whereas Nayrok and Lust are sitting at levels 2 and 3 respectively. Unfortunately for Limp, he's a little bit lower than MJW. Actually, they're about at parity at this point because of his death here, but Limp will definitely find a nice wave into the tower here of 4 creeps, and will probably get most of the experience, if not all of the last hits for that as well. Put an Anchor Smash in here. Yep, well played by Limp. And he'll actually miss 1 last hit there, but he'll almost hit level 5 with that, so that's great for them. He doesn't have as much farm as he'd like to. This charge did happen barely outside of the range of the ward here, so Moon going to get gone on mid, and he's going to die to the Viper, as well as Nayrok. Lust TPing in rather unnecessarily, I should say, but he does TP in to ensure a kill if it was needed, albeit he doesn't really have a toolkit to ensure a kill without his Assassinate here. So MJW gonna Firefly towards the rune bottom without being seen up on the high ground, and he's gonna grab that and probably look to. Oh wow, he finds a really big stack here
Dire's bottom tower is under
for
attack.
Riser on the Sand King, and he's
Radiant's
gonna pick
middle
up some of
tower is
that
under
there.
attack.
And that's going to be fun for him, but he's actually just doing Riser a favor, really, because he injured most of these creeps without killing them. So take a look at the item progression so far, guys. We've got Aquila Magic Wand on Swindle Melons here in the bot lane. He's got 869 gold to his name as well. Z-Freak, not much. He's on the 5 position Dazzle, but 1100 gold, as well as Brown Boots going the way of Riser here on the Sand King, so he's going to have a pretty good timing on his blink. Charge coming in here from Nayrok. Infinity will go out with a few right clicks onto Limp early. Axes will come in as well, and we'll clip Limp on the end, and Infinity with that Nether Toxin as level 1, as well as that Orb attack will finish off the Tide Hunter before he does ding level 6 there. So really unfortunate timing there for Limp to die just pre-level 6, and this will give the time for MJW on his Batrider to catch up to 6 as he gets back into lane here. So Limp will find 6 as he gets back into the lane, but as will MJW. So 2 crucial ults coming out for both teams. Yeah, he's going to pull back this wave with his fire, and he will catch level 6 here, will MJW. Necrobook 1 does come out for a TB in bottom from Moonmeander, and they're going to look to push up this tower. A good time to leave mid, as a couple heroes were rotating towards mid. A glyph going to be used here, of course, in this patch. It should always be used on tier 1s because it gets refreshed when they go down, but only going to delay the inevitable here. Actually, they're going to back off without a wave, so tower is just outside of deny range, and Moon's TP will be thwarted in a sense as Nayrok rotates down, as well as Infinity. He'll find a regen rune in the meantime, and it looks like Moon is going to be caught out here without TP on him. He does have a town portal scroll, but actually they don't walk right into each other. Nayrok going to walk into Riser here, and he'll probably burrow strike into him as they have a lot of support coming down from here. Moonman, and he's going to charge away to the other lane though, and even give Z-Freak a poke on the way out, so he'll be fine. He's even going to run into Limp here. No, he actually cancels the charge. Limp doesn't have a level in Gush though, but he can Ravage for this, and he does. Wells the Anchor Smash. Solo kill out for Limp, and that's certainly, I think, worth the Ravage at this point. It's unfortunate that he only has 2 CS and is only level 4 on Nayrok, but it is a solo kill for the offlane Tidehunter nonetheless. He's got his bottle up and about to ding 7 here, so that'll give him a lot more lane presence, especially with Nayrok roaming around as he is trying to find pickoffs. Moonmeander doing well in the mid lane. He's got 1 null talisman as well as his treads up at 800 gold, so we'll see if he grabs another null and looks to go into this Blade Mail build, or perhaps a Necro Book of his own. Perhaps I've seen him go Maelstrom quite a bit on this hero, so we'll see what Moon chooses there. Infinity has up a Bracer, Aquila, and Treads, and 400 gold, and a full Magic Stick, so looking to fight early and often here. A lot of value items for him. A little bit of stacking and farming done by Riser. He's got 2,100 gold. He's going to TP to the top lane, where they'll look to defend their tower here. And Z-Freak, Limp, and Riser will be successful in doing so. A little bit of a Shadow Wave Bomb to clear up the wave there. He'll take some harass from the Axes, will Riser, from Hylua, but push attempt number 1 with this Necro Book, not going to do much. There is a little meeting at the rune here from MJW, who does have a lasso, as well as Limp. Limp does have invisibility though, so if he looks to go on him, he can just pop that, and he'll be okay. Z-Freak needs a second here, guys, it seems. I'm going to try and eat some of my dinner. But the early game looking pretty good for both sides. I would expect a small experience lead for Complexity, and there is about 1,000, only like a 200 gold lead, so farm is roughly even. Problem being, Lust doesn't really offer much on this 5-position sniper, aside from a max shrapnel to help the push and assassinate to finish off any kills. But what does max shrapnel do for you when all of these towers are sitting at a very minimum 450 health? So they'll take the offlane sooner than later, but they are going to lose their offlane probably simultaneously, if not before then. And so, just not sure about what Lust is going to do in this game. There was a TP in, it seems, from Moon Meander just before this pause here. The pause was from Z-Freak though, so definitely not a UG type of pause here. And Lust knows he's about to be gone on here. Yep. So Lust does know he's about to die. He can, I mean, we'll see what happens here. There are TPs from pretty much everyone. 3 heroes. MJW has a TP as well as his lasso, but he's already using Firefly. TP can't be cancelled by Limp, so he can TP towards the bot lane, but Limp can put an Anchor Smash to him if he does start TPing, and that'll bring him down to 400 health. And with a Plasma Field from Swindle, as well as a few right clicks from Moon, he will probably go down. The problem with Lust as a support is he's got 644 health. So spam Shrapnel all you want. If you're dead, Shrapnel's not going to help you much. But there is a TP from Infinity here for the bot lane, as well as TP from Hailua on the Beastmaster, who does not have Roar at this point. So not sure that they'll probably just sack Lust here. There could be a 2 or 3 man TP rotation there, in which case they may find a return kill, as they don't have extreme amounts of burst to bring down Lust here. We actually do see a 4-1-3 build on Swindle's Razor, so not opting to go for Eye of the Storm yet. So not really going all in on push, and just looking to build up that unstable concurrent. Gives him a nice amount of move speed. He's sitting at 386 with treads, as well as, of course, the damage and the slow that comes from being single target casted on. So Moon Meander, I was just chilling mid, suddenly pink came. Sea Freak, I sat on a cliff earlier. It was quite relaxing. And fuck your tree ants coming out from Infinity. So a little bit of jawing from the players here. A little bit of fun stuff here. We always try to make it both a competitive and fun in the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and they're pretty damn successful at doing that. Support it, guys. It'll be around for a while. Get excited about NA Dota. Get excited about the home scene. And if you're elsewhere, just get excited about the global nature of this game and how much it's growing. It really is phenomenal and pretty impressive to see where it's come from. The days of early TI1 and even of Dota 1 in Warcraft 3. So pretty awesome stuff. We'll have a pause. It looks like Swindle's going to build into his mech here. He probably has it on the way. No, just a Sentry Ward. So he's got 700 gold building into that mech. So he's still about 1,000 gold away from the mechanism, I want to say. And Infinity not building into anything anytime soon. He's got a lot of value items, as I mentioned before. MJW is 1250 off of his blink on this Bat Rider, and even further is Limp on the Tide Hunter. However, a Tide can be a little more effective sans blink than can a Bat Rider. It's just a lot harder for him to get in without that blink. So perhaps we'll see him go back into the jungle. How's Riser doing? He's been farming quite a bit in the jungle. He's only 100 gold off, 120 gold off his blink dagger. So that's going to be awesome. He'll be able to blink in and initiate for the Tide Hunter, who can follow up with a Ravage there. So we're going to get it on pause here, guys. Fucking awesome. We'll take a look right away at Lust and what happens to him. Immediate triple TP rotation. Looks like it's something that Complexity was expecting. But they're going to blow up Sprout from Moon Meander and Lasso, and a right click from Infinity will pick him up. So Swindle will laugh at his teammates over aggression and walk away. Walk away unscathed. So tactical pause coming out from Lust. But yeah. Yep. Too bad for Shadows of the Past. Perhaps that rotation comes a couple fractions of a second later if they didn't pause there for Z-Freak, and maybe they get the kill on Lust before losing a return kill. Feel like they would have lost the Nature's Prophet no matter what. He just doesn't have much to get out. So they do lose Moon there. He was sitting pretty high on the net worth. He's now 5th overall, actually even sitting underneath Riser. So he did come out of that mid lane with quite a few LH, but unfortunately does feed one off bottom. They will look to push mid here off the back of that death though, and there is rotations from both Infinity and Lust already sitting here in the mid lane. So Sniper able to do a little bit of work as this support, spamming out his shrapnel and even attacking from long range, as there isn't too much initiation now. But now that Riser, he's also smoked up with this Blink Burrow available, and now that he has that, this Sniper is going to be food for Complexity. Razor, Swindle, as well as Limp in the bot lane are able to take the tower here, and Ravage is up, so he'll rotate over towards the mid lane. Moon making a nice play, clearing up these trees here to see any TPs in, as well as pretty much securing this tower here. Blink and Burrow will secure the tower. Actually, the glyph was popped, but Epicenter as well as Ravage committed onto Infinity here, and they will finally pick him off. But MJW going to come in and drag Moon back. A little bit of a preemptive shallow grave here, but it will save Moon for the time being, and a Burrow as well as a Poison Touch and an Anchor Smash into MJW will pick him off. That's a 2-for-0 and a 2 towers. So 2 towers, 2 kills for nothing. Assassinate will not be enough to clear up Riser, and he will be able to blink away to safety here. So great trade for Complexity all across the map, avenging the death of Moon Meander's Nature's Prophet on the bottom, and he will immediately go to top lane to look to find a little farm. Beastmaster does have the Roar as well as the Axes, but without like an Orb of Venom, I'm not sure that he has the solo kill potential here. However, he does have Necrobooks, and so with that mana burn as well as some of the right clicks from them, he doesn't have a hatchet though, so we can just see Moon probably. Unless he saves his Axes for the Sprout, Moon can Sprout and TP away. So he does have support rotate in from Riser, so perhaps they were a little bit wary of the possibility of that kill coming out from Hailua, but he does roar in as the charge is on the way, and Moon's going to go down here. He tries to back out, but charge, assassinate, yep, Lust going to finish him off. Actually, Beastmaster, Hailua going to finish him off with one last right click from the Necrobook, it seems, and Moon going to feed once again, but space created. Limp's got 1400 gold, as well as a regen bottled, and Riser, of course, has his blink, as we spoke of earlier, and the mechanism is now up for Swindle. So they can ball up now with this mech advantage. No mechanism on the side of Shadows the Fast. In fact, no one is even building into it, but that is the level 2 Necrobook for Hailua here. He'll send his minions down to bot lane, and they will expire before Swindle can pick them up, unfortunately for him. So Beastmaster looking good, but it's never a great thing for your team when 14 minutes in, your net worth leader is a Beastmaster, and your Viper follows close behind, but your offlaner is below all the cores of the opposing team. So early game seems to be going a little bit better for Complexity. They got a 2,000 net worth lead, 1,500 gold lead at this point. And they're soon to have a Blink Dagger on Limp. And once they have that, coupled with the mech, coupled with the Blink Dagger on Riser, coupled with the Eye of the Storm that's finally been leveled up here from Swindle, who's sitting at level 11 and is pretty much topping I was assuming topping the board with that kind of experience. They're going to have a really scary team fight here for Complexity. So once Limp gets that blink up, perhaps he looks to stack the Ancients here. Nope. Yep, thought twice about it. Gonna look to stack these Ancients and farm them up, and once he grabs that camp, he'll have pretty much a full Blink Dagger. So that's, I feel like for me, that's the point where they look to go. The blink does come out here though, 15-minute blink for MJW's Batrider, so really a lot later than they would have hoped, but better late than never. And perhaps they do a little bit of split pushing with Hailua and his Necrobooks, force over a rotation or two, and look to find a pickoff with this Lasso here. So Lasso is up, Limp is in the top lane. He's certainly not worried about a Beastmaster, but the Roar is committed onto him, and there's going to be a blink in from MJW, but he doesn't really seem to have enough. Nature's Prophet all going to fly through. They're going to sprout out to scout out MJW, but Hailua going to TP away, and MJW going to fly away, so no love lost from either teams there. But it does delay up Limp's blink a little bit, as he's going to have to base. So nothing really wasted, nothing gained from either team here. But really only the level 1 Lasso here. Pretty underwhelming at 16 minutes for MJW's Batrider for the side of Shadows of the Past. So pretty passive early game here, guys, aside from a few charges, and the charge will not be in time against Moon, as he will TP home. So as you can see, some really solid warding here. Sees some of their jungle, sees everything from this new cliff ward, including entrances to the bot lane, as well as the Dire Ancients here. So good warding from Complexity here. They have some good information, which is certainly what you need if you're playing up against a Spirit Breaker. Nayrok is here. They're going to see their smoke pop potentially as they rotate up. No, they won't. Will Swindle rotate downwards? He doesn't. So Nayrok hiding in the trees pretty successfully at this point, but they're going to smoke right into Roche. And is there a medallion here on Z-Freak? There is. So they're going to be able to bring him down pretty quickly, unless this is able to be scouted out by Nayrok. They're even going to pour it in a Riser into the bot lane to do a little farming, and perhaps give the illusion that that they are not doing Roche, as well as have the support coming from the back here from Riser with the Epicenter Burrow Strike combo. So we'll see who they give this Aegis to. Probably Swindle seems like the most likely target. Yep, he's a very tanky, and with that Static Link and Eye of the Storm up, they want to keep him around in the fight as long as possible. So Nayrok's still in the enemy jungle here. He's going to get scouted out from Riser, but he'll just be able to charge away to Z-Freak. And that's not far enough, my friend. He'll get Blink in, Burrow Strike, Plasma Field. Will not pick him up, actually. Z-Freak's right click. Or Shadow Wave, I should say. No, right click definitely is the first thing, or the last thing to hit into Nayrok. He's sitting at level 8, the lowest on the map right now. So support combo, pretty unorthodox here from Shadows of the Past. Didn't seem to work out for them. Of course, it's a very it's a very feast or famine kind of play. So if you are successful with a sniper, a Spirit Breaker support combo, you're a genius. If you aren't, you're a noob, and unfortunately they're looking like noobs at this point. Certainly they'd all whoop my ass, so I'm not saying anything of that nature, but just rough turn of events for them after such a crazy looking draft. So as you know, in this patch, guys, Tree Ants no longer take reduced damage, magical damage, so that shrapnel actually does quite a lot of work. So good play by Moon, moving it up above the shrapnel, and even if they were taking reduced damage, he would have done that. But just something to note of the new patch. They'll take a free T2 here. Hailua just going to push bot lane with his units and keep scouting with the Hawks, I should say, to ensure that no one's rotating in. Moon is alone here defending the bot lane, but yeah, and he'll jump in Primal Roar, and he knows that no one's around. He'll pop his Necro Books with the axes. He may have had enough, but he'll look to TP out, and it's a little too late, seeing as Riser was the one TPing in. So Hailua drops without killing Moon. Perhaps he should have just went all in and took the kill on Moon. Charge into mid lane, as well as the lasso and the Nether. What the hell is this thing called? I forget. Nether Strike, I believe, from Spirit Breaker. But he'll go down to some Static Link and Eye of the Storm from Swindle Melon. Z-Freak still alive with Shadow Wave, Weave, Shallow Grave, so he's not even worried. They're going to bring down this mid lane with the Eye of the Storm and look to push into it. They still have Ravage up. Flame Break going to go out to delay things, but there's no lasso, and they know that. There's no Primal Roar because he's down, and yes, it is called Nether Strike. And as well, Nayrok is down on the Spirit Breaker, so they'll find the T2 in the mid for free. And the Roshan's already down, so they can't look to back and take that, but perhaps they look to go take this tier 1 top, and Moon does TP over there promptly after taking the T2 in mid. Swindle gonna go farm a bit in bottom. He's got his drums and 3,300 gold up on this Razor, so maybe he goes into Ags here. I definitely like that pickup. It synergizes well with the Nature's Prophet and the rest of their lineup pushing, and they definitely want to take care of their advantage at this point, and one way to do that is to choke out the enemy by taking out their access points and vision to the map in the form of their towers. So T1 gonna go down top lane. Z-Freak gonna take the last hit on that one, getting a little luck back for that expedition to the cliff he had earlier in game 1. Jump in from Riser mid. He's going to commit the Epicenter and pick off Lust here on the Spirit Breaker, and that's exactly what I was talking about when I meant, yeah, I mean, you can assassinate and do a lot of damage from range, but you still have 644 health on a sniper. And Riser are going to have Burrow up, two-man Burrow into Hailua, as well as... and the Ravage committed onto Infinity. Probably going to drop here as well. Swindle Melon's posturing up. Will use the mech, but he'll probably go down here to the Necro units. Flame Break going to finish him off, but he's got Aegis. And they're going to be fine here. There are 4 down on the side of Shadows of the Past, and the lasso is up. So they just look to take the last outer tower here for Shadows of the Past. So don't want to get too cocky. Not having Eye of the Storm, not having Epicenter, but nice solo kill from Riser there. Good response from the rest of his team, TP in from Moon Meander and everyone else walking in to save him. And it looks like Complexity handily taking this game over Shadows of the Past here. So nice play from them mid. We may see MGW get caught out. He does get blink burrowed on by Riser. Plasma Field, Gush, and 2 more right clicks. 1 from Swindle Melons, 1 from a ranged creep. And they'll finish off the bat here. And now they can certainly consider going up high ground with the lasso down. Probably the one thing they want to worry about. But perhaps they want to wait for Ravage and Epicenter. And it looks like... they're making a decision as to whether or not to do that. Riser is a bit low here, so perhaps they just look to farm up the map. They are choking in, as you can see, the vision. There is some aggressive vision here on the bottom section of the map for Shadows of the Past, but they are going to start to choke them into their base. Z-Freak weaves them up, and TP's home here, so just an intimidation weave to back them into their base, keep the lanes pushed up, and perhaps find them back off into the jungle, into the 3 heroes of Complexity here, Swindle, Limp, and Riser. So just a scouting Greater Boar here out from Hailua's Beastmaster, but pretty unorthodox draft from Shadows of the Past. It doesn't look like it's going to transition them into the mid game very well, as Viper didn't do extremely well. He didn't do poorly either, Infinity, but he doesn't have an Ags, he doesn't have a mech, and they just can't fight up into this mech advantage. There is the Ags out here for Swindle now, as well as the Blink and Force Staff for Limp, so things looking really grim. Necro 3 did come out for Hailua, but he's really the only bright spot. If we take a look at the net worth, he's sitting at 3rd, just above Riser on the 4th position Sand King. And so Blink in here from Limp is available with a Ravage. He'll blink in Gush, see if they find some response, which they don't. Eye of the Storm was popped here from Swindle. It's only a 70-second cooldown. Jump in Lasso, but a Ravage used onto MJW, and yeah, don't touch my carry, bro. There goes the Batrider. He's down for a while. He's got no buyback, of course. A Primal Roar used on the backside on Moon Meander, and there will be a solo kill here for Hailua, but Eye of the Storm, as well as a Blink Burrow and the Plasma Field, going to finish off Hailua here. Dazzle, once again, going to take the last hit, and GG called from Moon, and I think that's just... it's just party MMR, says Nayrok. I think that's just him dying, of course, flaming himself in that sense. Don't want to be confused to actually be calling GG there, Moon. You are Canadian. You do want to win in this Dota 2 Canada Cup, so... But I don't think anyone took it offensively. I certainly didn't. Charge coming out here onto Riser. Blink backwards from Limp. Weave defensively used here. They will go into Riser, put a few right clicks into him, and it looks like he will be graved up, and the Burrow Strike to come through. Will he burn out? He will not. Narrow, but there is a negative earn charge there with the positive one. It looks like the negative one won that fight. And Assassinate going to finish off Swindle, but he's going to mech up. Will he be able to take out Infinity? He does. And the Plasma Field here getting really cocky going into Lust, but Lust does take him down. So ends up being a 3 for 2 in that small exchange, and looks like Limp as well as Z-Freak might find MJW here. They do, as Moon Meander TP's in and finishes him off. But the Primal Roar will find Moon out again after the immediate buybacks of Lust and Infinity. We'll see if Z-Freak is able to make it out alive. He does have his Yule's Scepter, so die back from... he didn't actually buy back, but he died, came into the fight and died again. So great coming up from Moon. Charge coming from a very long distance from Nayrok here. We'll see if it's in time to get Z-Freak. It looks like it will be. Limp gonna mana him up. And You know, it looks better with the tag on naroc.hotdota.hotdogs. Hot dog, we got ourselves a runner. But Z-Freak gonna shallow grave up, blink in, burrow strike, epicenter from Riser. Not gonna be enough to finish off Infinity, and he will actually get cleaned up by Infinity. But TP's in here. Will they be able to chase anyone down? It doesn't look like it. Drum's gonna be popped from Swindle here, but yeah, the plasma field will connect on Infinity here if he uses it. Shrapnel gonna slow him down though, and charge in from Naroc. Nether Strike onto Z-Freak, and Naroc may clean him up here. He does have a shallow grave available, so he's not gonna die quite yet. And he's gonna look for this Shadow Wave, Yule Scepter, Z-Freak. Poison Touch Yule Scepter. Yep, he does earn and Yules himself. Smart move from him there. Jump in, Force Staff from Limp, as well as the Anchor Smash going to finish him off. Infinity does die on the backside, and this could prompt the GG pretty soon here. We'll see. We'll take a look at the graphs. 15,000 net worth lead in terms of complexity, in favor in complexity, I should say, and 12,000 experience lead generated. MJW does pick off. MJW does pick off Z-Freak in the background, but it looks like Infinity's pretty rattled about it all, and he'll DC and call GG. Z-Freak. Congrats on third place coming up from Naroc. So humble in defeat are Shadows of the Past, but two pretty convincing victories here for Complexity Gaming. They look good in all phases of the game except for Moon Feeding Kappa. And they look good in both Game 1 and Game 2. Felt like Game 2 was won at the draft screen, not necessarily by an outstanding draft by them, but when you pick up Razor, Tidehunter, and Sand King, you're going to have serious team fight presence, and couple Razor with that Dazzle, and all Moon really has to do is say, hey, I'm the one position, attack me, and everyone else is going to bring you down. So he did a good job of that, going 2-6-10 on his NP, but not to say that he played poorly at all. But space was created. He did make a few nice rotations, and once again, the Spirit Breaker Sniper combo did not work out fairly well for Shadows of the Past. So definitely just trying something new out. Shadows of the Past were in a professional setting. So 27-minute Game 2. That is your third place match in the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 3 playoffs. Congratulations to your third place winners, Complexity Gaming. Thank you for joining me, guys. I am More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. Follow me on MRP_Dota at MRP_Dota on Twitter and MRP_Dota on Twitch. Let me know how the cast was. Let me know what I can do better. Flame me when I miss a kill, etc., etc. Tell me I'm better than Toby 1. Kappa. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I love y'all. We'll be back soon. Be sure to check out WCA tonight. That's going to be super exciting. I know I'm going to stay up and watch some of it for sure. At least the first few matches, and probably watch the VODs tomorrow. I will be casting Dota Pit as well as Star Ladder tomorrow. I have permission to cast those, so thank you so much for joining me, guys. Tune in tomorrow. I'll have some Star Ladder, some Dota Pit for you guys. Lots and lots of action, so I love y'all. This is More Rage Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, signing out, and that is how we do it in the North.